So what we're going to look at now is a little bit about how percentages work, or rather specifically how to add or subtract percentages if you are starting with a number and you need to add on so many percent. So you need to add on 2% or 5% or 20%, or even subtract 10 or 20%. It's done in more or less the same way. You just have to get your head around how you think about this. So let's just start off with some numbers. So we'll put some prices, let's say. Let's not put it on the first row. Let's go down a little bit. I'm just going to use capitals for everything. And we'll start with a nice round number, 100. And we'll do 200. And try something a bit more complex. We'll try 340 and 470. And then something smaller like 69. And then what this column can be used for is percentage change. So this is going to be an increase or a decrease in the percentage. So for example, if we wanted to increase 100 by 5%, hopefully you know that if you add 5% to 100, you get 105. Okay, so we're going to put the new amount here, or new price. And we'll just put we'll just do 5% to start with. So we want to do a calculation using Excel that will give us 105 as the answer. Now, I'm not going to give you too much of a maths lesson about how this works. I'm just going to show you how to do it in Excel. Because if you really want to learn about the maths, you need to do quite a few more exercises and learn the background to how percentages and decimals and fractions work. So all you have to think about is we're trying to figure out the new price, but we should do a step in between. Before we try to work out what the new price is, we should work out how much the increase will be. So we're starting with 100, but in this case the increase will only really be 5. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to move the new price heading over here. We'll call this increase / decrease, because it might be a decrease in some cases. We'll look at that in a minute. So the increase is, all you really do to work out the increase or the decrease is you multiply these two numbers together. Okay, so let's do this. Equals this times this. But as you can see, we got 500. 500 is not 5. The reason why this happened is because we have 5 here instead of 5%. Even though we've put percent here, it's 5% we really need here. So what we do is we change this by just going to here, to the number dialog, which always takes a little while to come up, and then we put it onto percentage. Look at that, it says 500%. Okay, so that's not really what we want, is it? So what we have to do is plan ahead. So I'm going to undo that actually. And then instead of putting 5 and then changing it to percent here, what you do is you just type in 5%. That's the way to do it. 5%. If you didn't want to type in the percent sign every time, what you have to do is type in the decimal. So the decimal is 1/100th. So 5%, the decimal of 5% is 0.001. 0.05. So, sorry, 0.05 or 0.05. So you go 0.05. Then if we change it to percentage here, it becomes percent. So again, we can use that same formula here. We just multiply these two numbers together. This and this, multiply them together. Voila. So 5% of 100 is 5. So it follows that 5% of 200, because it's double 100, therefore the answer should be double. Let's just replicate this down to all of them. So can you guess what 5% of 250 is? Well, doesn't really matter. But if we know that 5% of 100 is 5, 5% of 50 must be 2.5. So the answer must be 12.5, I would guess. So let's try it. And we can do all the other ones as well. Okay. Now let's say that some of them were subtraction. So, or the price change is minus 5%. So we just put a minus in front. And then it means take away 5% instead of add on 5%. We'll do it with this one as well. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So just press minus, press enter. Okay, so we're going to put that formula in again, equals this times this. Okay, so that one gives us 5. But you can see it says minus 10. So we're taking away 10 from 200. We will be. Let's do that. You can see we get some different answers. So how do we calculate the new price? Well, quite easy. We know what the original price was, and we know how much we're going to increase or decrease it. So we just add them together. Now you might think, well, how can we add this on? Well, because it's how can we add on when we come to this one, how can we add it on? Well, because it's a minus number, it automatically converts to a minus or converts to a subtraction. Again, we're not doing a maths lesson, but when you combine a plus and a minus, you end up with a subtraction in the arithmetic. So we're just doing this equals this plus this. We get an answer 105. This is going to be a 5 plus this. So 200 plus minus 10. It's not the same as 200 plus 10. That would be 210. Because it has a minus, it does the opposite. 190. Cool. Okay, and all those other answers there. So you can see on this 471, we minused to 23.5, and we ended up with 446 instead of 470. And that's all there really is to it. If you want to increase or decrease by a percentage, such as a price increase, which is the main thing you will use it for, or a price decrease sometimes prices go down, this is all you have to know. So don't worry about adding these extra columns, even though this is really the only answer we need. Doesn't matter about these, you can include them. It shows